Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, on our voyages. And yes, I have Goku Sailstar for some reason. Um, Time for my picks for this week. Now, of course, last week I went 6-10, so a losing week after having such a great week. But for the season, I'm 126, 80-2, so I'm still good in that department. So, thumbs up. Let's get to the picks real quick, and then we'll go over the playoff seeds. Because there's a few games. There's a game tomorrow night. So let's talk about the Thursday night game. It is the Chiefs taking on the Chargers. Now, if Chiefs win this, they pretty much control their own destiny, as they would win the division. Um, and they can also clinch a first round bye with a victory as well if they win. And we'll go over that a little bit later on when we talk about the playoff seeds. Um, Chargers win this, they can pretty much lock up a wild card spot as well. But there's also other ways they can get one as well, and we'll talk about that. Um, Anyway, here's the big old conundrum. Who do you pick? Because both teams are good. Both teams have been wonderful this season. So it really comes down to who do you trust the most in this situation, the Chiefs or the Chargers. For me, I'm going with the Chiefs. Chiefs have been way better overall. Now, of course, if the Chargers win this, they can steal the division. So either way, most likely these teams will be in the playoffs. Chiefs already in there. Two of them. Once the Jets, I'm taking the Texans here. I think the loss to the Colts was just a little bit. I think they take out the Jets very easily and win the game. Next, Broncos, a very interesting match, still alive in the hunt. Broncos would need to win out and get some help. Browns, same thing. Look good against San Francisco. Cleveland actually looks pretty good against the Panthers. Up quicker than the guy on the Odell game on the Price is Right. Um, I'm taking the Browns here, and that's not even my upset pick, believe it or not. I have a different one later, but I'm taking the Browns, so I just trust them a little bit more. For the Sunday games, the pick on the Cardinals, I'm sorry, I'd rather watch a Baron Corbin promo, because at least that would be more entertaining, and plus I'd be able to actually hit the mute button. So I'm taking the Falcons though on this one. Falcons just look like a better team. Bills take on the Lions. I'm going to take the Bills here. Lions, Bills. I just like the Bills for some reason. I think their defense is going to step up big time and get them the W like they so richly deserve. Next, it is the Bears taking on the Packers. This is a very important game for both teams. If the Bears win, they win the division. If the Packers win, it keeps playoff hopes alive, which is something you want in this situation. So, with that being said, I'm taking the Bears. Bears are just a better team on paper. And they beat the Ravens this past Sunday, so there's a reason right there. The Bears have looked great. Now to my upset pick. The Bengals take on the Raiders. I'm taking the Raiders. So yes, I know it's crazy. I've been dogging the Raiders all year long, but I don't trust the Bengals. And Bengals are favored right now by 3 points. I don't know why, but I'm taking the Raiders. So I just think, particularly after they got a big win over the Steelers, I'm going to take the Raiders. That's just what I'm going to do. Next, Cowboys take on the Colts. We know we're taking the Cowboys here. That's my team. Next, Dolphins take on the Vikings. I'm taking the Dolphins here. Dolphins really stepped up big time beating the Patriots and have a chance to get to the playoffs. All they got to do is win out and get some help from some other teams. Vikings look like they're on life support, and if the Bears win, Vikings pretty much may just go click. Now, granted, the Vikings are the sixth seed right now, and we'll get to that in a minute and tell you what's going on there, but I just trust the Dolphins a little more. Next, Titans take on the Giants. I'm taking the Titans. I think overall they're a better team. Yes, the Giants are technically, and I do mean this word loosely, technically still alive, but they're one game away from the plug being pulled and pronouncing time of death, which I think will be this Sunday. Next, Jaguars take on the Redskins. Redskins are not looking good, and that is me being polite. They are not looking good at all, which is somewhat hilarious to a degree. Um, I'm taking the Jaguars. I don't trust the Redskins. Sorry, guys, I don't. Redskins have been terrible ever since they lost Alex Smith, and then they looked even worse when they had to start Mark Sanchez, particularly after that game against the Giants. Oh boy, bench Mark Sanchez and signed the guy who was the fourth string guy, because he was actually playing pretty well. Next, Ravens take on the Buccaneers. I think the Ravens bounce back and from their loss against Kansas City and beat the Buccaneers. So Buccaneers have looked decent, but I think Baltimore bounces back, and we don't know who the quarterback's going to be. Is it going to be Falco? Is it going to be Jackson? Is it, if it's RG3, I'm going to regret that pick, but I think Falco's going to be starting this week, or at least Jackson. Lock of the week. Seahawks take on the 49ers, and I'm taking the Seahawks. They're just a way better team on paper, and that's all that matters at the end of the day. Who's the best team when the lights are on bright? Now let's see if WWE 2K19 loads again. For some reason, I didn't want to load the first time, so we'll be playing that after I do this video. Um, Patriots take on the Steelers. I'm taking the Patriots. Steelers have looked god awfully bad. Patriots, yeah, they kind of did lose to the Dolphins, but I think that was just a fluke because that miracle play usually never works. Steelers have looked disappointing, and there's a good chance the Steelers could miss the playoffs because they guess what? They got the Patriots this week, and then they got the Saints next week. To me, they have to win at least 2 out of the next 3 to win the division. I don't see that happening. Sorry, Steeler fans, but your luck may have just ran out. The Sunday night game, I got the Rams versus the Eagles. That's the Sunday night game. I got the Rams. I think Rams bounce back. Eagles did not look good in the game this past week. And oh, by the way, the Eagles quarterback looks like he's going to be hurt and out with this Sunday, so we shall see. And then lastly, the Saints take on the Panthers. I'm taking the Saints on Monday night. Panthers have been a train wreck since that game against Pittsburgh, and they haven't really recovered since. So my picks are as follows: Chiefs, Texans, Browns, Falcons, Bills, Bears, Raiders, Cowboys, Dolphins, Titans, Jaguars, Ravens, Seahawks, Patriots, Rams, and the Saints. So we see how we do there. If you like my picks or disagree, let me know in the comments. But moving to the playoff seeds, here's what we got. The Saints are the 1 seed right now at 11-2. They won the South on Sunday due to beating the Bucks. Also, Carolina lost, so that helped as well. So yay for that. Rams are 11-2, and they're the 2 seed right now. They won the West a few weeks back. Now both Saints and the Rams can clinch a first round bye this week with wins respectively, and a loss by the Chicago Bears. But the Bears play the Packers, so who knows how that's going to work. Next, it's the Chicago Bears and Sunday's victory over the Rams. So I am just testing some things real quick because I'm trying the multitask, which is very hard and not fun. The Bears. Now Sunday's victory over the Rams leaves the Bears potentially 1 week away from clinching the NFC North. They can actually do it in Week 15 with a win against the Packers. A first-round bye isn't out of the question either, but it would require the Rams to lose the next 2 out of the 3 games. So we'll see if that happens. Now the Cowboys, who are a winner of five time, like Booker T would say, consecutive games, the Cowboys have run away with the NFC East at this point, and they can actually clinch the division this Sunday with a win over the Colts and losses by the Eagles and the Redskins. Because Cowboys would be 9-5, and the Eagles and Redskins would be at 8 losses at that point. So we shall see what happens. Now, Seahawks are 5th right now. They're 8-5. If they win the next 2 games, they win the 5th seed. Also, they can win actually the 5th with a win. Remember, they play the 49ers and losses by the Vikings, Panthers, Eagles, Redskins, Packers as well, which could happen. Then, of course, the Vikings right now are your wonderful little 6th seed, and they're still alive and control their own destiny up to that point. But the question is going to be, can they maintain it? That is the question on everyone's mind. Still in the hunt at this point. Panthers, Eagles, and Redskins were 6-7. Packers are on life support at 5-7-1, and the Bucks are also on life support at 5-8. Same with the Giants, but those plugs could all be poured as of Sunday. Going to the AFC, Chiefs are 11-2. Now, if they win on tomorrow night, they would clinch the division and at least a first-round bye with a victory. Chiefs did get a playoff spot on Sunday. Now, Patriots are 9-4, can still win the division if they win over the Steelers and the Dolphins lose on Sunday. Remember, the Dolphins are 7-6. The Patriots win and Dolphins lose. Patriots win the division. Texans. Now, Houston still have 2 games over the Titans and Colts with 3 to play. That means the Texans can clinch the division as of this week if they win, and the Titans and the Colts both lose. And remember, the Colts play the Cowboys, and the Titans play the Giants. So there's a chance one of them may lose. I don't know, both. Now the Steelers, who are 7-5 and won a 3-game losing streak, has all but ended the Steelers' chance of getting a first-round bye in the playoffs. It also has loosened what once appeared a stranglehold on the AFC North. Only a half game separates them from the Ravens. Even worse for the Steelers, unfortunately. The next 2 games are at home against the Patriots and then at the Saints. I believe the last game is against the Bengals. I might be wrong on that, but we shall see. Now, the Chargers can lock up a playoff spot with a win on Thursday. However, if the Chargers do lose, then they would need 4 of these 5 teams to lose as well. They would need the Ravens, Colts, Dolphins, Titans, and the Broncos for those 5 to lose. I say that for this reason because they're 10-3. They lose, they're 10-4. Everybody else behind them is 7-6. So they would just need everybody else behind them to drop 1 game. Now Denver's already at 6-7, so that wouldn't really matter. But they would need the Ravens, Colts, Dolphins, and the Titans to lose as well, which could happen. Now Ravens, Sunday, you lost in Kansas City, put you at 7-6, but it wasn't nearly as painful as it could have been when the dust settled late Sunday afternoon. The Ravens still had not been knocked out of the 6th spot. Victories by the Titans, Colts, and Dolphins created a quantum of 7-6 teams, but the Ravens, for now, hold the full-weight tiebreak and have a very winnable game at home this week in 15. Now, Steelers loss, meanwhile, will put the Ravens journey back into the AFC North race, which could happen as well. So keep that in mind. So those are my picks. And by the way, the teams in the hunt still: Colts, Miami, Dolphins, Titans, Broncos, and Cleveland are still in the hunt, but we shall see if they can make it. Now tune in next week when we go over Week 16. Till then, have a good night, and good luck to your teams this weekend. And if the X button would work, that would be great. I guess I want to stop the stream, you piece of shit.